So, I mean, this kind of backtracks a little bit, but I had this epiphany when I was like in my early adulthood, around the incredible value and importance of family. I was hit by a drunk driver, and my family, like, whom they connected, they supported, they like my parents grew closer. I mean, you see so many families that experience tragedy and like the family almost like implodes, right? And I was like, I mean, I had no business living through this accident. I was hit head on at 60 miles an hour. Like it was just an absolute miracle that I was alive. And I was like, there has to be something deeper here for me than what I currently understand. And the thing that really stood out the most was like this family dynamic. Like I was healing because my family was there to support me. They were connecting even more because they had this beautiful relationship and way of being together. And so that, I didn't have a family then other than my parents and my family of origin. But then as I was having my own family, that's when it really stood out. Like, okay, I know how important family is to me. I know how much is available in this type of relationship. And yet, like, it feels hard to find.
Mhm.
And so, as I was having babies, like I was noticing that, but it's like full court press, right? Like my husband was in his residency working 100 hours a week. I'm home with kids. And, there wasn't a lot of time to be like, hey, let's sit down and figure this out. And so I kind of coasted, for lack of a better word, through those first couple of years. But then once I had my daughter, who's our youngest, I was like, okay, I have a little space and time because I know I'm not going to be pregnant and having another baby anytime soon. Like it's time to start figuring this out. And so I would say there was probably like a 3 or 4 year period where I was like, okay, I'm going to do this one thing and I'm going to see what becomes possible from that. And so like the first thing for me was getting back in shape and marching back toward the fitness. And then it was managing sleep. And, so it was like kind of this stepwise process, like in my own
Mhm.
process, to really find that purpose and passion and, what could even be possible there. I was not in a state before that to be able to experience that fully.
Yeah. So you started off with the first mountain, which is physical.
Yeah.
That's an unbeatable mind term.
Yeah.
Um, so why there though? Why that spot?
Yeah.
Why going?
That's a super good question. So I think for both Jake and I, that was the gift of being an athlete before we weren't an athlete, because we had always been physically healthy. And then once that element of physical fitness was less regular in those early years for me of having kiddos, um, I know like my brain got so foggy, but the second I would go for a walk or a run or do something physical, that mental fog would kind of just boom, disappear. And so that was like my clue, like, okay, I really have to do this one thing because it makes everything else so much easier and better.